All right, guys, welcome to First and Goal. I'm your host, Flavo Rihanna, brought to you by Four Corner Sports. All right, guys, so the Odell Beckham Jr. saga is over. We already know where he's going to end up playing. Yes, he got released by the Cleveland Browns, got cleared by waivers. He put out his list. A lot of us thought that he was going to go to Green Bay or Kansas City, New Orleans, or Seattle. If you looked on Twitter, I posted that I thought that he was going to go to two teams. I did the Las Vegas Raiders or the LA Rams. All right. And sure enough, I was right. He goes to LA. He's going to be a member of the LA Rams. LA Rams a couple of weeks ago made a trade for Von Miller from the Denver Broncos. And he's on board behind that loaded defense led by Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, along with Leonard Floyd. Man, now you added Von Miller to the mix, and Odell Beckham Jr. joins that team. Yes, he's a wide receiver. His quarterback is Matthew Stafford, and you have Cooper Kupp also, who could play inside, outside, in the slot, as the X, as the Y. Wow, guys, this is gonna be a phenomenal offense and a defense that Sean McVay has to run. But unfortunately, there was some bad news with the LA Rams. Wide receiver Robert Woods is out for the year. Tore his ACL in practice on Friday, and huge blow to the team. Originally, I held off to make this video, but the reason why I held off because I wanted to make sure to see what was going to go on, and sure enough, it paid off in my factor. It sucks what happened to Robert Woods. But the reason why I held off, because I was just like, I was debating. I was like, did Odell make the right choice? Honestly, I thought it would have been perfect for him to go to Green Bay, because it would have been him, Devontae Adams, and then Aaron Jones. But the problem is that I thought that if he went to Green Bay, he would have had the results of being a blocker, because look what Alan Lazard, look what Marquez Valdez-Scantling does, look what Devontae Adams does, and he's a better receiver, in my opinion, than Odell Beckham Jr. And I don't know if Odell would have been very, excited to do a whole bunch of blocking. Now, Kansas City, if he would have joined, it would have been him. It would have been Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and then Odell Beckham Jr. But the problem is just that he would have been that third option. In Green Bay, he would have been a second option, but he would have to result into blocking, just because that's more of the system in Green Bay. Because Aaron Rodgers, yes, he will throw you the football, he'll fling you the football. You could be that deep route, but the problem is that he would have to result in more into blocking, because they like to do a pass run, and then when they run, all their wide receivers are on note when it comes to blocking and picking up on reads and stuff like that. And I don't know if Odell would have been on board with that. But with the Rams, Sean McVay is a wizard when it comes to designing plays. He could definitely get the ball for Odell Beckham Jr. He could definitely design a whole bunch of different plays for Odell, where he could be coming off from the slot receiver, or he could coming from the far outside, or on the on the opposite end. I mean, Odell has options, but now that you subtract Robert Woods from this roster because of an injury that's going to take him out for the rest of this year, and then possibly maybe a month or two into next year, I mean, Odell Beckham Jr. is going to have a lot more balls on target coming in his direction. Cooper Kupp, obviously, he's the number one receiver on that team. He's a better route runner. He's a better slot receiver than Odell. Now, Odell Beckham Jr. is most likely going to have to fill in the slot of a Robert Woods. He's most likely, like I said, he's going to probably get the second most targets on the team, and right behind Cooper Kupp, which is normal, because Cooper Kupp, usually gets about at least 10 to 15 balls thrown in his direction. But for Odell Beckham Jr. to join the squad, if Robert Woods would have been on this team too, wow, that would have been so many weapons for Matthew Stafford to go about. But now with no Robert Woods, and you throw Odell Beckham onto this thing, yes, it's going to be more eyeballs are going to be put on Odell, and it's kind of like a pick your poison. Are you going to try to cover? Are you going to try to double up on Cooper Kupp, or are you going to try to double up on Odell? And somebody definitely has to play man. I think the way they play man is you're going to have to press you're going to have to press on Odell, from the line of scrimmage, and then throw him off from his route and then focus on that. But I would say try to double up on Cooper Kupp. But these are great problems to have if you're the LA Rams. But now you lost Robert Woods. What's the ceiling for this team with Odell Beckham on the roster? Man, guys, I don't know. I mean, originally I was going to see Super Bowl with Robert Woods, but now I think they can make the Super Bowl. I'm pretty sure they can because Matthew Stafford is a real damn good quarterback. He's way better than Jared Goff, and it clearly shows that the Rams was just needed a good functional quarterback to get them the football to their receivers. But I would say Rams definitely going to the NFC conference title. I don't know if they're going to make the Super Bowl. I mean, you got teams like Green Bay. I mean, Aaron Rodgers with the stuff that's been going on with him in the past couple of weeks. I mean, I think he's going to go on a vengeance. I mean, we're going to see in about a week or so, I think a week or so, maybe 2 weeks, Rams versus Packers. That might be a preview for the NFC title picture. It could be Rams in Tampa Bay, but I don't know. Something tells me that Father Time is going to eventually catch up to Tom Brady. And then, Dallas Cowboys. They're an obstacle this year. Yes, they're an obstacle. You have to possibly beat them to get into the Super Bowl. I think, one of those 4 teams can definitely get into the NFC title picture. But yeah, that's the ceiling for these LA Rams. Rams are looking good. They made the right decision. They got their big pickup in the free agency market, getting Odell Beckham Jr. Let's see if Odell is happy. I'm pretty sure he is. He loves, LA. He has a home in LA. He has a bunch of friends out there in LA, like LeBron James and other people too. So he's going to love that type of spotlight. Plus, it's a beautiful stadium in SoFi, in Inglewood. Man, things are going to look great for the Rams, but we'll see what happens. Now that Rams lost Robert Woods out for the year, and that's a huge loss. That's a very big loss. But we'll see what happens. They got Odell. If they're able to fill the void, let's see what happens to the Rams. But I'm picturing Rams make it as far as the title game, to the NFC title game, but I think they fall a game short of making the Super Bowl. But that's just my take. Guys, let me know what you guys think about my opinion, my takes on Odell Beckham Jr. Do you think I'm right? How they got to play him? You think Odell Beckham Jr. made the right decision of going to LA? What's the ceiling with the Rams with Odell Beckham Jr. on the roster? And do you think the Robert Woods ACL injury is going to cost the Rams a Super Bowl, or am I just blowing smoke out of proportion? Until then, guys, this is Flavio Oriana. This is First and Goal. Please hit that like and subscribe button, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace, guys, and have a good one.